All right, y'all, so what we got here is the tailgate failing to open. And inside there, you can see that the left latch is still connected, the right is still connected. What's going on is that this rod on the right-hand side, passenger side, is not connected to the latch. Now, there's no access panel inside this old truck like there is on the modern one. The Colorado's got an access panel in my other truck, and I think the new Silverados do too. So the issue is I cannot get this thing unlatched. So they say, oh, you can take this and reach in here and dingle around and try and get this to line up with a tiny little hole in the inside of this latch. That's all a bunch of craziness. My theory is, for the $8 Amazon pins I just bought, I'm going to try and get this little body saw right in here and hopefully not bugger up everything and cut that little pin and then just pop the latch open. At that point, I'll be able to unbolt the latch inside, reconnect the rock rod. I've got the new little plastic pins that break all the time to do that. And then just pull the tail light and replace that striker pin. So I don't know, worst case scenario, I'll have to do something more serious, like what other people on the interweb say is cut an access port, but that's just a whole lot more cutting and welding and bumfuckery for the tailgate. So here we go. We're gonna try and cut this with a little body saw and not mess up. Well, a couple seconds of work here and about a quarter of the way through the pin, so I don't know, we'll see what happens next. All right, we got success on cutting that pin. So, hey, look at that. So now, just retrieve the old broken piece of pin, pull that tail light out. Yeah, all right, let's keep going. So now we would be popping 2 screws out, but since every car was previously owned by tweakers, we're missing screws. So, whatever, 50% ain't bad. But we pop this one out, hopefully get the housing out, and then get to that striker. The tail light out of the way, 15 mil is gonna pop this striker off. And we got replacements right here from the internets. So this 2-pack was like just under 10 bucks, man. So I don't need to do this side at the moment, but they also offer an entire kit to do all the latches, the cables, the middle latch, the plastic dudes, the little plastic dudes. They look like this. General Motors cars all take the same kind of things, the lefts and rights. We'll get into that rod here in a second, but we'll start with the striker. It did come with new nuts with the lock flanges. I opted to reuse the factory one, fit the same size. There's a Torx head here if you need to hold it straight. I was able to get it tight enough with my fingers. And just use the witness marks from the old dirt. Line it back up, shouldn't need too much or any adjustment after that. So it takes care of the striker. And now we're gonna remove this latch, which hopefully should, if we do some fingering in there, should be able to get that old striker pin out, but more importantly, get to that latch rod and connect it back into this. And looks like this little guy here is a little cattywampus too. Let's see. Yeah, that thing's supposed to be straight. So I'll probably just tweak this back out to straight too, that little plate there. All right, with that latch out of the way, bolts are half 13 mil, whichever one you got handy. You can see in here now, you can see right there, there's the lock rod that fell out of this actuation hole here. So as you can imagine, if your tailgate was shut and you could only handle in the middle, good luck trying to thread literally that needle through that hole inside blind of that tailgate. So what we're gonna do now is try and pull this out. I don't know if it'll work. I have to go underneath there and lubricate that handle, but we're gonna replace that little green clip on there with fresh greenie from over here. Hopefully get some more retention power, and I might even try to find a way to put a zip tie on there because I like zip ties to be a little more chooch. You can see the old versus the new. The old one broke off the little plunger that surrounds the rod as it goes in here. So that little snap right there is what holds that rod into that place. So it just gives it some more thickness to wrap around. So we're gonna snap this new one on, see if we can finagle the fingers in here, get all this put back together, probably put some lubricity up on this here latch, some lubricity up on the other latch. And I did have to remove the 3 middle bolts, also 1/2 inch 13 mil, just to get a little more wiggle, to get this rod where I can hold it a little better, just a 1/2 inch further out, grab some needle nose dongers there and get after it. So getting that clip was a little bit of a job. I was able to come in with 2 hands, hold this over. You can kind of get in the center there with a screwdriver. What I was able to do was just get the needle nose on it and pinch and just close that down into it. And you need to get it up past the little lip that's on the clip. Focus. You can see that little step. You need to get that little step all the way into the bracket and get it to flare out so that it will stay latched. You don't have to do this again. So hopefully, I'm kind of testing it. Watch it fall out. Testing, tappy, and it's in there. So now, slap it back together. Got me some fluid film. I'll get over here, give it a little squirt on the other side. We'll see how. All right, the moment of truth. Let's see if all the hard work pays off. Tailgate's latched. That one's latched. Oh, boys, look at that. So that was, let's call it 10. All of these were 4, so let's call it 15 bucks after the change, and not even. I mean, geez, we didn't even get through. That's a lot of beer left. So not even a 1 beer job, including doing the Vijayos. Anyway, that's how to replace tailgate lock rods on a GMT 800. This is a 2004 Silverado, but the same pins and same stuff probably fits, I don't know, 4 decades of these trucks. But that's how to do. If it breaks off on this side, it's a little easier to reach because you can just take the bezel off. As you can see, some tweaker screwed it on, but that's fine. It works, and the truck is for working.